Hi, I'm Jeff. This is Tropical Plants at 53 degrees north. So it's another rough and ready style video, warts and all. Anything that goes wrong goes wrong. So I'm just going to get on with it and show you a few things. So this one is titled, if I recall, Look What's Coming Next. Now this is my first autumn, or I'm approaching the meat and potatoes of autumn as we speak, because outside it is absolutely freezing. It's roughly, well, comparatively anyway, it's about 8 degrees Celsius at the moment, and it's absolutely throwing it down with rain. So I'm in here in the tropical greenhouse, and the temperature in this side at the moment, I'll just swing around here, you can see down there, is 15 degrees, and I've got it at 13.5 set to not go below that. I'm really trying to keep it above 12, but because of the cold spots in the greenhouse, I tend to just raise that a little bit, and no doubt I will pay for that in cash as the year goes by. So what I want to do here is just have a look at what's coming next, because I've never had so many orchid spikes coming. I'm going to point out a couple of other things as well. It's not just the orchid spikes. So let's get on with it. So first of all, I've never had an Adenium Obesum before, up until somebody recommended it to me. Is it the Desert Rose? And this one is, or was, bought on the 22nd of June, and I really didn't think it would bloom this year. But unless I'm mistaken, and I know nothing about these, but unless I'm mistaken, these are the beginnings of blooms. I can't really see that there will be anything else. They don't look like leaves, do they? And there's a little bit of colour in them. So I think these are going to bloom, which will be absolutely fantastic. I might even stick that in the conservatory if I can keep fudge away from it. So that's one thing that is about to come. Down here, the Cambria is just opening up, and you can usually tell the Cambria by the spotting on the petals. Well, obviously it's not opened up completely, so I'm going to do a video on Cambria, because this one has 1, 2, 3 large spikes on it, and there was another spike on it which I totally chopped off. We have the, what have we got over here, Epidendrum. The other Epidendrum there, I cut that off with the idea of repotting it, and actually I did repot it, but it looks like it's got another one coming there. We've got the, gosh, this one, sotoanum, Oncidium sotoanum. That's got 1, 2, 3 spikes on it, so that's coming. Obviously you've seen the Sharry Baby, and it's really growing quickly, this. I have repotted it, but only in terms of, like, I've swapped one pot for another. I've not mulled about with the roots. I just wanted to see what was going on with the roots, so I just put like an airy transparent pot there. So we've got 1, 2, 3 giant spikes on that. This just keeps throwing out blooms, this Phragmipedium Ainsworthii. But I've got some other orchid spikes coming over here. The Burrageara nelly that I allowed the sun to burn, but it's come back. We've got another spike down there, another one there. That one was a bit of a miserable one, it only had 1 bloom on it. A spike with 1 bloom. But it's coming better now here. It's kind of zooming off to the sides. But when you think what it's been through this year, I'm quite happy with that. But let's have a look. Oh gosh, that is really looking in need of a feed, isn't it? It's practically cream at this point. So I think that's orchid spikes in this side, but I am just going to point out one more thing. So this is my fuchsia. A fuchsia that I had outside, and it just doesn't seem to like it, but just look at that colour on there, and look how it's changed as well. So you've got the newer one on the right and the older one on the left there. A really deep purple fade into this. It's almost pink, isn't it? But it's a really nice fuchsia, and I think the only way I'm going to get the best out of it is by keeping it here in the greenhouse. So I'm going to, I mean, I guess they're tropical. I know there are some hardy fuchsias, but I think this one is, just bearing in mind what's happened with it over this summer, how it's been just the general weather. It's either it's too hot, or it's too wet for it, or it's too dry. It's just a bit of a prima donna, but it's a lovely bloom, and when that's full of blooms, as I fall over nearly, that's going to look really nice there. And I'll chop it back if it gets a little bit big. The greenhouse is looking pretty full, and I have got some things to bring in over winter. I'm going to bring in the banana, and what I'm going to do with the banana, just as you look at my Bougainvillea Brasiliensis, now it is, by the way, it is still dropping leaves. It's such a flipping prima donna when it comes to watering, but it's, at least, you know, we've got a show, haven't we? We've got a display this year, and I managed to keep on top of the watering. At the moment it just seems to want tons and tons of water. It can't be the light that's causing this. That's about to drop off, and I don't think, there doesn't appear to be any kind of bug damage. Like I say, it just doesn't seem to be a particularly suited cultivar for a greenhouse for whatever reason, but we'll keep trying with it, we'll keep trying. So yeah, I was saying I was going to bring the banana in, and what I'm going to have to do with it is chop like all the side leaves off, and I'm just going to leave one central shoot, which will be easier for me to store it in here. And I keep saying I'm going to throw away the Brugmansia, but it has been so nice this year. I don't know, it's difficult to make your mind up with these things when space is a premium. It may well go down there if I can, once I've got rid of my giveaway. And don't forget to enter my giveaway competition. Yes, I know you've got to enter with your YouTube details and your Facebook details, but you know, I've been doing that for years. Honestly, it's up to individuals. If you feel that in any way it's some kind of nefarious company, then don't enter. That's fine, I understand. You've got to make your own decisions with these things, but I've never come to any harm, and I've been entering other YouTube competitions using Gleam before, but it's up to you anyway. More spikes over here. We've got the Oncidium Cinnamon Twinkle. I know it's got burnt leaves. We did have some hotness this year. Heat. So this has got, let me see, 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5 spikes on it. 5. That's going to be fantastic this year. And every time I even mention the twinkles, I think to myself, I must get some more. This Fuchsioides, it's going to touch the roof in a bit. That's going to have to go on the floor. Not go on the floor. Masdevallia snowbird. I don't know whether that's one of these kind of rogue, I'm in a little bit of distress kind of blooms, or it's going to throw some more blooms out because it's very early for it to do it. That's come back now, pleased with that. Yeah, so we're talking spikes, are we? So what other spikes have I got? I think that's it in here, and I'll be very happy to go through to the warm side because I also have some spikes on the warm side. Have I missed anything? I know I'll get off the video and then I'll suddenly realise that I've missed something that I was going to show you. Right, okay, so let's zoom through to the warm side. Oh, much nicer. Right, okay, spikes. I know I showed you that the other day. That's going to be quite nice. Doesn't that look like a praying mantis? I think. Maybe it doesn't. Okay, spikes, let's have a look. So, this one, I'm actually not wanting a spike on this one because I've got all this stuff down here which it's kind of tropical looking and a little bit bizarre, but I don't want it there. So this is Epicattleya volcano trik crossed with Laeliocattleya Janet Sparkle, and every time I think, right, blooms are over, it does this and chucks another one up. So at some point I will get around to repotting this. I've had it since, gosh, I've had it since January, and it's practically, well, it's been in bloom or about to be in bloom since then. And there's another couple coming up. There's 1, 2, 3 new growths coming on it. So I don't know when I'm going to repot that. I might just have to do it regardless because these roots are becoming very unwieldy and in the way. And I think at some point they're going to take over the entire greenhouse. So over here I've also got my Zygopetalum, so that is a spike which is going to come very soon. And if I'm not mistaken, there's another spike down there on that side of the zygo. So 2 new growths and a spike on each one. That is fantastic. That is a result. Is there a spike on this one? Can't remember. Just new growths on that one. That's another one that keeps falling over. You know, you always have those plants that whatever you do, they just keep falling over. So still talking spikes. Leylia Anceps spike. I know that's got quite a bit of growing to do yet before it does its fantastic bloom forming. Bit disappointed Miltonia hasn't, this is Newton Falls, hasn't spiked yet, but there is one coming. Yeah, this one. So this is my Brassia, I think is it Orange Delight, something like that. I've got quite a few of them with orange in the title. Orange Delight, there you go, repotted 3rd of February, and that's had 2 flower spikes this year, and it was semi-destroyed by the sun, and all those leaves fell off, and now it's looking much nicer, and it's got another spike on it. So there's another one that's about to come. So I'm really pleased with all these spikes. They've just all kind of appeared within the last couple of weeks. Don't think I've got any more. A couple of new growths on this Cattleya. Disappointed this big Cattleya didn't bloom. It sent up a couple of leaves there. It sent up a couple of leaves, and I thought they felt like they had something in them, but they just kind of stopped, so I guess they didn't. There's tons of roots in it, loads of new growth, so I've been trying to kind of squeeze it all in. I know it's a little bit late for that. I should really have done that from the start, because these Cattleyas go in all directions, don't they, and take up all the space. So I think that is it in terms of new spikage. I guess these Miltonia speciosa at the moment, I mean, they're looking nice and green. Whether that is a bloom coming down in that corner. They've been quite slow this year. I've probably got them in too shady a spot there, but nevertheless, okay, so that's it, I think. So as far as spikes go, we've got loads of blooms about to come. I'm really pleased with the way things are going. In the corner here, my Masdevallia has finally made it over to the trellis, and I've just kind of put it behind there, and I'm looking forward to some new blooms on that, and to see it doing exactly the same thing as the red one over in that direction. That will look fantastic, and I'll take some cuttings of that as well. So all I wanted to do today was show you the spikes. I've lots of spikes coming, and I'll leave you on this lovely little Habenaria medusa, and for now I'll see you on the next one. Bye.